That's even more scary.
I'm gonna watch it.
That's scary. Somebody's gonna watch it. I'm happy to be a prop in your media empire.
So far there's 0 people here.
Okay. Is it recording us? See them? 0
It is. It is recording us, but we will decide later on whether we decide whether we keep this on the channel or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is just like what the porn documentary had.
I guess so. What's up, guys? Coming at you from Steiner's, kind of a local bar here. It is on the Strip. Well, not the Strip, but it's on the same street as the Strip.
Las Vegas Boulevard.
It's on Las Vegas Boulevard, south. We are south of the Mandalay Bay property, probably by like what, a couple miles, 3 miles or something.
Yeah, and maybe about a half a mile north of South Point. So that's a good landmark.
We're in between Mandalay Bay and South Point at the moment. Mm-hmm. So we're here with my buddy Dan Michalski, who, I don't know, you've worn many hats, several hats, various poker media. Little known fact, Dan and I used to have a podcast together, along with our buddy Dave, who is in the same city as us right now somewhere. But yeah, we used to have a podcast together.
You've taken Vegas Grinders to a new level here.
Our podcast used to be called Vegas Grinders, me, Dan, and Dave. And that was kind of like, I don't know, the first sort of media that I got into was also Dan's creation, his website that he's had for many years now called pokerati.com. And that was me doing written blogs. That was like my first step into poker media, so to speak.
I recognized talent a long time ago.
That's very nice of you to say. And then that kind of led to us doing the podcast together.
So I'm new to this, by the way. So all the comments coming in there, like I see them, and I see a few that have said hi and yay hi, but it's going fast, and I'm not. This is a little advanced for me, so
it's okay. You're not that old.
Yeah. So
you're.
But the technology just moves so fast, you know.
It does. Yeah. The comments move fast as well. Someone's asking, can we find old episodes of Vegas Grinders? Which is a very good question, and it's a question that I often ask myself. And I go to look for old episodes of Vegas Grinders, and for a while you could find them on iTunes and elsewhere, but now I'm not so sure if you can find them on iTunes.
They definitely exist, but that really it's a shame. Really, we can't just say go to VegasGrinders.com or something like that and go find them. But actually, I think if you go to Pokerati and click around, a bunch of episodes are there.
Are they? They're hosted on the Pokerati.com website?
You might find a path to them there. I don't know if they're actually hosted on Pokerati.com. It's been a while since I've looked under the hood there, but we have links to some things that, anyways, they can let us know if it works or not. We'll see if there's a big spike in the downloads to old Vegas Grinders episodes.
Yeah, if you guys want to go over to Pokerati, yeah, that's right, James J. That's how it's spelled. Pokerati.com. You can head over there and see if you can poke around and find some old podcast episodes between us and our buddy Dave as well. There's the 3 of us. I don't know how many episodes did we have, like 20 or 25 or something?
About 20, I think.
20 episodes. Mm-hmm. It could have been massive. It could have been a real player in the poker media landscape.
So the number of viewers we have now, I think, is about 50% more than the total audience we had built up in those 20 episodes.
The total what?
The total audience. Like, we would get our listens were in the hundreds.
Okay.
So I mean, it was, everyone's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. I mean, we were pretty clueless about like how to go about promoting it, and we were starting from scratch. There was no podcast expert on board to kind of help us out and guide us. So it was fun. It was a fun little project that just kind of faded away. But
it was good times.
It was good times. I saw someone ask what we're drinking. I am currently drinking the Green Flash IPA direct from San Diego, California. That's what it's called.
And I'm drinking a Warsteiner Pilsner.
Where's that from?
From Warsteiner, Germany.
From Germany, yeah.
Yes.
And
it's good.
Yeah, so
it's favorable. Yes.
I have this $100 here, which I am going to. Hey, hang on a second. Piotrowski. $5. Have a beer on me. Thanks, buddy. I'll put that to use in a second. I'm going to insert this into this, and we're just gonna hope for the best here. Is this where? This doesn't seem to be wanting to take my money. All right, hang on. That's a total fail. Hang on a second. I might need to get a different bill out of here. So Dan's been kind of covering the Player of the Year stuff, right, at the World Series?
It's interesting. So Chris Ferguson moved into first place in the Player of the Year point standings just yesterday with a little. It wasn't a min cash, but it was a very small cash in the little one for one drop charity event. Cash for about like 3,000, 3,900, something like that, and that was enough to put him first place. He passed Ryan Hughes, John Minetti, and John Racner.
So Chris Ferguson is currently in first place.
Jesus
Ferguson is currently in first place in the World Series of Poker.
He kind of used some game theory. Like it's been small ball. Like, so he tied a record. He set a record and tied a record. So he had 17 cashes in the World Series this summer, which ties John Racner. But John Racner has a bracelet, but he still is a little bit lower than him because of the new scoring system they have. So, Joffrey Gatz or Gates. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So this really is like that porn documentary on Netflix, by the way. Like the way that people give you the love, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of very nice people out there in the audience. We got the nicest vlog watchers.
The numbers were a lot larger for the 20-year-old.
Dan was telling me about this porn documentary he was watching on Netflix where some girl was on her bed doing a male on the couch version. Girl on the
They're
bed.
doing the same thing. That's all I can say. You guys are doing almost the same thing. So like, but anyways, we'll save that for future chat. But
all right, I got the $100 bill in there. So this is the current status right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. I will keep you guys posted on how that goes. I wouldn't expect too much though.
So Player of the Year is going to be settled at WSOP Europe in the Czech Republic. They've got 11 bracelet events, and so I'm curious to. I have no idea what will happen here, but will players actually go to WSOP Europe to try to win Player of the Year points if they're in the top 10 right now?
I'm sure they'll have to, right?
Well, Danny Negreanu is going to be there, I would guess, and he's like currently in like 8th place, maybe 9th, something like that. So, I imagine he's going to play in as many events as he can. But
yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens.
If Ferguson wins, I might quit poker, says somebody.
This guy Frank P says, "Can we please see Dan's belly button?"
Yeah, no, we're not on a first date like this. Like maybe if I return, we'll work towards that.
So, what's been your experience with the World Series of Poker this year? Because you're kind of like you've been doing your sort of what do you call it? Your freelance articles from various sources and various outlets, and just covering it. For me, like the reason I asked, because this was a really different year. For me, it was like I didn't get nearly the kind of volume of tournaments and cash games that I normally do. But
there's money on the line. So now I'm like the girl in the porn booth.
What did he say? I will pay you $6 if Dan shows his belly button. You don't have to do it for free. All right, you're costing me $6 so far if you don't show your belly button.
All right, $100. Now we're talking. Now 100.
Yeah, but he might be lying. How do we know that they're actually gonna,
Can it be like a crowd-funded site, like where they do certain pledges, and I don't know how that works. But
I don't know how that works either. But anyway, I was just kind of rambling about like how this was a different kind of World Series for me. I didn't get the volume that I normally do, but it was much better of a series, much more enjoyable because I was sharing the experience with the 361 people that are watching this right now, as well as a couple thousand extras on YouTube. So, how was that for you?
How was what for me?
Just the summer.
So so I've been just following it from the computer mostly, So I'm doing some editing for some websites, and but I had not paid attention to it as closely in recent years. You know, once upon a time, we were in there.
Sorry, Gerardo Bueno. Have a tecate on me. Shout out from Sacramento.
Awesome.
All right, we'll get a tecate over here.
That is good. All right.
I think they might find it interesting that you used to. Can we talk about this? Like the sort of involvement in poker that you used to do in Dallas.
Oh gosh, go all the way back to Dallas, huh?
Yeah.
So
they'll find that interesting, I think.
Yeah, the Dallas Underground was really where pokerati, like my poker chops were cut, I guess you could say. So
you used to run a game, right?
Well, I did run a game, not an underground game. I ran I ran the best amateur tournament in Dallas, which I believe is still going on at the Lodge. If you haven't been, go to the Lodge in Dallas, and I think it's on Sundays that they've got a game. And the Lodge is one of the finest gentlemen's clubs in Dallas. And I used to have to train the dealers there. It was honestly a great amateur tournament, and there's a lot of pride. We sent some guys to the World Series. We had some scores and all that kind of stuff. So
nice. Bradley Slocum says, "Have a beer on me, Dan. Cheers. Don't want you to feel left out. Also love the bar streams, Andrew. Keep them coming." Bradley, thanks, man. We're gonna have to get a couple beers over here, I think. But we're not gonna go too crazy. You know, we're just having a casual Sunday here. And yeah. So
have a beef with Trooper. I've never had a beef with Trooper before. Have you had a beef with Trooper?
What's the beef with Trooper?
Oh, what's the beef with Trooper?
No beef whatsoever. I'm a Trooper fan.
I thought it was a typo. I thought it said have a beer with Trooper, and he was.
I don't know. Maybe that's a different comment. But I'm a subscriber. I subscribe to the Trooper. Have liked many of his videos. Have laughed at many of his videos. And you know, Trooper's just out there doing his thing. He's on the grind. I think it's like pretty impressive how many videos Trooper cranks out like regularly.
You know,
he puts in the volume.
All you guys, if you look at Andrew and Trooper and Doug Polk, and probably a few others I'm forgetting, they blow away ESPN in terms of views. Seriously, like, because of you guys, all you guys out there watching them, like ESPN, like, is trying hard. You guys are supposed to be watching them right now, right? Or watching the Poker Go app, maybe.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry, not to send your audience away.
Joffrey, shout out from Royal Flush Radio. We love you. Drink on us. Have you heard of Royal Flush Radio?
Yes. They're awesome. I'm sure they are, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're fantastic. Thanks, Joffrey. Royal Flush Radio. Everyone go check out Royal Flush Radio.
All right.
Quick update over here. We have lost $1.25. We just made 2 pair, but nothing too exciting to speak of just yet. If I make a straight or better, I'll show you guys the results of that hand. So yeah, someone says ESPN dropped the ball on getting in with the bloggers and commentary.
They do that, you know. They're a little slow there, you know. Big company, that kind of stuff takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of people just to do something. You got to go through a lot of eyeballs.
So what was the name of that game that you were plugged in there for a second in Dallas?
So that was at the Lodge. It was
the Lodge in Dallas.
So it was the Pokerati game. That was like one of the forerunners of the Pokerati game. We had the tournament at the Lodge. We did a little stuff in the Dallas Underground. A lot of crazy things going on there, and then came to Vegas and started the Pokerati game, which a few of you may know and love.
Yeah, the first time I actually met Dan in person was he was hosting a half No Limit, half PLO game at the Palms Poker Room, which if you had seen the vlog where I was over at the Palms, you would know that the poker room does not exist anymore. But it was a super fun game. It was a round of No Limit Hold'em, a round of PLO. It was like it was 1-2 of each, but there was some pretty big pots in that game. You could run it twice, and it was like the only 1-2 game in town where you could run it twice back then.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. In fact, that took a lot of effort to convince them to let us run it twice there. Like, they didn't want to lose out on the extra $1 break that they believed they could make in the time saved for not running it twice. Poker rooms know now that they should run it like they can do much better by letting people run it twice.
It's a shame. It's a shame that's because the Palms used to be like the poker room at the Palms used to be pretty happening, right? You saw it like
at least on Thursdays.
Well, yeah, when the Pokerati game was going on, but they used to have that TV show. What was it called?
MTV.
The Celebrity.
The Real World.
The Celebrity Poker Showdown with.
Oh yeah.
With what's the guy's name?
Phil Gordon.
Phil Gordon was the host, one of the hosts. Celebrity Poker Showdown. That was at the Palms. That was like in the prime poker boom days.
You know, things come and go in Las Vegas. I mean, that's really what, like, culturally, it's what we do. Like, we build these casinos and then we implode them and build new ones. And so when things can stick around and have some staying power, that really says something, because the usual is they come and go.
So what are your thoughts on I know you're usually the one to go to for like online poker legislation questions and discussion. So what are your thoughts on how soon we can look to see when the next state will pass?
Man, what state is it going to be? I mean, it came so close in New York. Pennsylvania still has a few things on the line. Illinois is in this like major like budget struggle. Those are all states that have things. They have bills and they have representatives, and in some cases senators, that are ready to pass them, but they still are running into problems. But it's been very interesting as a lot of these states, as their congressional sessions are coming to a close and they're having to fill budget. They're having to fill budget coffers. A lot of them are looking at online gambling, and all those states we mentioned, it's right there, but they're having a hard time getting it over the hump. And here's the thing: if it doesn't happen now in 2017, and they say, oh, we'll wait to 2018, it doesn't happen in election years. So 2018 is not going to happen. Then they'll go to 2019, and so this has been a long slog. But the hope is that once a couple more states legalize it, a bunch more states will follow. And you're starting to see, so over in Europe, France, Italy, Spain, and Portugal just agreed to like share their player pools. And that is setting up a framework that could totally work in the US, where these countries have their own individual laws about online poker, but they now don't have the whole globe like we did way back in the day, but they have bigger player pools. And Nevada,
it's probably better than Nevada.
Nevada we share with Delaware. Did you know when you're playing online at WSOP.com you can be playing against Delaware players? So
I did know that. I did know that you could possibly be playing with the 10 people in Delaware that are possibly playing.
So your viewers are probably hip. They probably know that kind of stuff, don't they?
Yeah, I think some of them do.
Hey Dan. Oh, hey, it's Ed.
Ed Mayhall says, "What's up?"
Ed goes way back to the Lodge game way back in Dallas.
Yeah,
that's where I met him.
He's still playing it out there, isn't he? He's playing something out there.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Richter, hi for Reno, coming up here anytime soon. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna come up to Reno. I would love to do like a Tahoe/Reno trip and do like some snowboarding, because Tahoe is so gorgeous. But even in the summertime, Tahoe is amazing as well. And I know Jason Somerville does his thing, his Run It Up Reno thing, and I think that's in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe he should go to Burning Man. You guys think Andrew should go to Burning Man, or is he past his Burning Man prime?
Type 1 if I should go to Burning Man, type 0 if I should not go to Burning Man. In the meantime, Ron McCowan, sorry to hear about your fold in the big one. You should be happy to hear about my fold, because the guy had the better hands. It was a good fold. It's pretty close here with the 1s and 0s so far. Someone says 2. Belly button.
This is fun. There's a lot of things you can do here with this. Talk about some audience engagement. I'm impressed.
It looks like more 1s than 0s, slightly.
But so 1s are yes, you should.
I think 1s
Burning Man.
I think 1s were yes.
All right.
So
I guess that's what you're doing.
We should probably take the vlog to Burning Man. Yeah, someone says set up a poker game in Burning Man. Do you think we can get like some pretty good action in Burning Man? I don't know. It's like a sharing economy though, so I don't know if people
like antithetical to the whole purpose, right?
It's not much of like a competition sort of atmosphere.
But it's all corporate now, I mean, I've read about that. The sort of the Hollywood bigwigs or the Silicon Valley bigwigs come in and they fly in and like, yeah, it's not what it used to be apparently.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never been, so I don't really know. I would like to go though. I'd like to check it out. Why not? What are you drinking? I'm still on the same beer as before, which is the Green Flash from San Diego. Someone says cheers. Harvinder ready. Cheers back. Is there any strategy to choosing what day to play a multiple day tournament? Like, why did you choose to play day 3 of the main?
I think it's a great question.
Says Yee Dog. Basically, for me, there wasn't a lot of strategy that went into choosing a day, other than I had a bunch of stuff to do on days 1 and 2 that I wasn't going to be ready to play until day 3. But the general strategy that I've heard from some other people is that the something around like 50% of the people that make the final table of the main event entered on day one. And as a result of that, there's a concept that perhaps day one is the softest day to enter the main event. That's about the extent of
Is there any way you can really determine what is...
Ed Mayhall, you shouldn't have done this. That was pretty nice of you, Ed Mayhall. $25 you just sent over. Cheers, Ed. It's the star power of Dan Michalski here that did that.
Ed applied to be Daniel Negreanu's world main event buy-in. He didn't get it though. But
well, maybe we can do something here on the Andrew Nemi vlog channel. We'll do something for you, Ed. What were you saying about the main event entry?
Yeah, Daniel Negreanu had something where he bought somebody in. He had people send videos to apply, sort of. And
right. No, I saw that.
His guy cashed. But,
yeah, it's really cool. It was he was.
Ed made a nice video, but didn't win.
Yeah, Negreanu's videos were pretty fun. The last couple that I saw, I haven't watched all of them because he's cranking them out every day. But Minion O Metal says more Boosie. I agree. Right now, Boosie is in beautiful California, Newport Beach, taking a couple beach days with her girlfriends. So she couldn't be here with us today, but I'm gonna get her in a live stream video very soon over the next couple of days. So be on the lookout.
What is Annie Duke up to lately?
Yeah, there you go. What is Annie Duke up to?
Annie Duke is pushing her sort of pseudo-motivational speaking, sort of doing speaking to businesses and stuff, lessons from a poker pro kind of thing. So she's trying to sell her wares off the table.
Yeah, she's not very well regarded in the poker industry these days.
Did she show up at the World Series this year?
No.
I didn't see anything about her.
No, I don't think she's made any appearances in the World Series in the past handful of years.
Do I smoke cannabis?
Do you smoke cannabis? Cannabis is legal here now.
Yeah, smoke is an interesting word though these days. You know, like.
Is this for real? Is this for real? OSU, Beaver 4. Your first big line in the next 10, 20, 40 game at the Bell. What happens to streaming at the Bell? OSU Beaver 4. Cheers, buddy. Wow, I agree. Wow, it says Ted DeLuca. I agree with that. Wow was right. That was not really the intention when we signed up to do the live stream thing, but thanks, man. The Bellagio live stream was put on pause during the World Series of Poker, just because they have so many tables that are jam-packed into that room, and they are all being used while the World Series is going on. But I know they're going to fire it up as soon as things wind down post WSOP, and I'm probably going to be popping in there at some point again because it's really fun. They did a good job with it, even just getting started, just getting it off the ground. It's easy to compare it to like Live at the Bike, where they've been doing it for over a decade.
I think this is what they're going for, really. Like,
it's the same concept.
It's worked, right?
Yeah, it's the same concept, and I think it's like overdue to have something like that in Las Vegas. Any sort of new media sort of thing, sharing poker and utilizing new technologies.
They want thoughts on Chris Ferguson. Now, we've already talked about Chris Ferguson, but I have another thought I'd like to share with Chris Ferguson there.
You're free to share any thoughts you would like, as long as it's something interesting.
Well, so like, you guys all hate Chris Ferguson, right? And, like, I'm no fan, but like, I see him get called like a thief. He stole money. I'm pretty sure everybody got their money back, right? Like.
Okay, well, you're not gonna make too many friends around here defending Chris Ferguson.
I'm not defending him, but like, I mean, all he did is really he borrowed money without asking for a really long time. It's not quite the same. It's not like he's Russ Hamilton.
But he didn't borrow it. He kind of like enriched himself with people's money that was not the purpose of people depositing money for Chris Ferguson to enrich himself, right?
You know, I think there's a lot of conclusions that people jump to because he was one of the key owners of Full Tilt. But like, I think there are also a lot of things that like went on behind the scenes that, in terms of efforts to try to save Full Tilt, that fell apart, and some internal struggles there that honestly I don't know how they went. And he could have turned out to be the very bad guy.
Well, I think it would go a long way if somebody was actually able to have like a sit-down conversation with him, and he wasn't just kind of like, I'm just gonna go about my life as if nothing
Everyone was
ever happened.
so nice, but then Vincent was really rough there. Like, how do you like handle it? I mean, are they mean?
What do you mean?
That was like really mean what he said there.
Oh yeah, I mean, people have their opinions and they're.
All right, so this is how the whole free speech. He's a thief. So really, that's the question: is he a thief? Like, did you get your money back from him though? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he did he go? It depends. Like, did he go out of his way to make everybody right, or were they lucky to have PokerStars?
Was it a nice catch by his? Yeah, nice catch. Like they got PokerStars in the end there.
Yeah,
that's totally possible. All I'm saying is like. And look, I'm no fan of theirs. I mean, like, they're no fan of mine. Like, Pokerati in the day, like, we were calling them a criminal enterprise before Black Friday. So, like, but that's where some of us were not as surprised by it. And all I can say is that, like, it's really easy to just. He is a bad guy now. But at the same time, they couldn't have showed up and played the tournaments, played the World Series of Poker, if there were people there that could be like, hey, you owe me money. I didn't get my money back. You just cashed.
I think there are some people that did not get their money yet, that did not get paid back yet. I think that's the case. I don't think every single person got their money.
If that's true, then I think that's a legit. Then they might have a legit beef. But like,
I don't think it's 100% of people that got paid. I mean, I think that most people got paid back. But again, it's not like. It's tough to know whether he had any part in, rectifying the situation. As far as we know, he didn't, because as far as we know, PokerStars was kind of the white knight in the.
I know there were some affiliates that got cut off, and they have some claims that could be taken. But like that's what the World Series. Like people would call for, like these guys should be banned from playing.
Brian W says bad subject, LOL. I think you took us down a dark road here, a dark path. There's a lot of F words being dropped in the chat. It's a sore subject, and it's going to be for a little while still.
So what do they want from him? They want him to say something that he's not going to say because of whatever reason. I mean, maybe he should just do an interview.
I don't understand why is it so hard to do an interview? He didn't seem to have too much trouble being the face of the company that put a lot of people in a really bad spot, and putting his face out there and promoting that product. Why is he so quiet now that things went bad, things went poorly, and now it's just...
Yeah, I go with that. Again, I'm not saying yay go Chris Ferguson. I'm just saying like the insta hate that you see on Twitter is sometimes less than impressive.
I'm not gonna agree with that, because the pitchforks will come out. They'll burn my entire YouTube channel to the ground.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can't have that,
Yep.
So we'll have to.
Is it now? All right. I'll put this question then. Is it perhaps good for poker to have some legitimate bad guys, good guys and bad guys? To have a Negreanu versus Ferguson? To have?
No, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's necessary.
Is Helmuth a good guy, or is he a bad guy these days?
I think Helmuth is generally considered a good guy, but you could make a case for something else as well. Somebody had something, a much more softball of a question here. Favorite card room in Las Vegas area, says producer for Life 100. It's a close call between the Wynn and the Aria, and then, so those two are up top, and then the Bellagio would be next, just behind those two.
Are you basing that on the games or on the room?
I'm basing that on the room, and then the Bellagio has the most 5-10 games always in town, so that's definitely up there. But the Wynn room is just so sharp. It's the newest room in town, and the Aria room is also very nice, and the food options are really on point at the Aria. So as far as food goes, I would think Aria kind of.
Kat wants to know about Venetian. I was wondering the same thing. How is Venetian these days?
We don't really mention. That's the poker room that goes unmentioned here around these parts.
Oh, okay, because of the Adelson thing, right? I mean, like, you can't even mention his name. I mean, you can say he's a bad guy, right?
I just don't even mention anything about.
Okay, sorry, I don't mean to slow your roll here.
No, some people like playing there. It's fine. There's a lot of people that like playing there. And
so you don't want to slam the people that do play there, but you also don't want.
And also the staff that works at the Aria poker room itself seems to be pretty solid, on point. Dealers are good, all that stuff. But we don't really mention that. We don't mention that business.
So this is I didn't see the rules beforehand. So
that's fair. That's fair.
I'd like to see Andrew Neeme on Poker After Dark, by the way. I think that would be great.
My buddy Evan is in there. He says, Has anyone really been far, even has decided to use All right, I don't know what you're talking about, Evan. You lost me there.
You gotta try again.
You lost me there, buddy. I think he's trying to confuse me.
So what do you guys think, speaking of Poker After Dark, what do you guys think out there, what do you guys think about the Hall of Fame? Hall of Fame nominees? Like,
Well, it's going to be Ivy's a lock, right?
I'm pretty sure Ivy's a lock. What do you guys think? Is this Maury Eskandani, the guy behind Poker After Dark? Does he belong?
Well, I don't understand it because it seems like there is supposed to be. It seems like there needs to be a sort of like business. Is there like a business category for the Hall of Fame or no?
There
it's all
is.
the same.
They have an industry. Like if you.
Okay.
So actually, like Maury Eskandani, the guy behind Poker After Dark, and what were the other ones? High Stakes Poker, and the team that does the WSOP coverage right now. He started way back when with the guy. What was his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
That started what?
The guy who he's in the Hall of Fame. He went in the Hall of Fame in like 08 or 09. He's the inventor of the hole card cam, and Harold something, and
They'll tell us. They'll tell us shortly here.
but so anyways, like that guy is in there because he changed the game by inventing the hole card cam.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name either.
And so I would contend that I like Maury Eskandani because in some ways, when you think of Ivy, Maury's vision helped show the rest of the world what high stakes poker looked like. Like when you saw Phil Ivey on the screen on his shows, we now saw, oh, this is what it looks like when a badass is playing for a pot with.
There you go, Harry Orenstein.
Henry Orenstein. Yes, there we go. I think he went in like 08, 09.
Says Guerro 327.
Tom Dwan is not old enough for the Hall of Fame. You have to be at least 40 to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So Durr's not going to be in there just yet. I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay.
Mattisau? Yeah. What about Mattisau? Has success. He has.
Yeah, I mean, for a while he was playing in. Was he playing in the big game, like the big game, like 4,000, 8,000?
I don't know if he played in that big game.
I don't know if he was playing that exact big game, but he was playing pretty high stakes for a while.
Greenstein's already in, by the way. Somebody hit Greenstein.
Greenstein's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Mike Mattisau would make sense, but.
I see people calling for Pescatori too. Like I don't see it for Pescatori. I mean, like maybe like 20 years from now for Max Pescatori.
I mean, I know like one of the what do you call it? One of the requirements is that you had to have played the highest stakes and been successful at it, I guess.
Right.
So I don't know if like Max Pescatori has been like. I just look at like the big game in the Bellagio, and then like the biggest stakes online.
Devilfish, he's a nominee right now.
I don't know, but I mean that's like not that big of a pool, so I mean that has to like expand eventually.
Right, and does just playing in the highest stakes game, like then you're gonna get a Paul Thua and all, you're gonna get to some of these like sort of the Chinese billionaire types. Like, and what have they really done for the game other than fund Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan?
Yeah. Andrew Kang. Andrew, what well-known player has been your biggest influence?
That's a great question. I'd like to know, Andrew.
And before that, Miguel Rodriguez, Andrew for Poker Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's not 40 yet.
I am not 40 yet, so I will not be nominated, or probably ever, even after I'm 40. But thanks for that. Biggest influence on me? I mean, when I first got into poker, I was a huge fan of Daniel and Antonio Esfandiari. I am one of the very few people on the planet to have purchased the book that was written by Antonio Esfandiari. I bet you didn't even know that Antonio Esfandiari.
I don't think I could tell you what book he wrote.
Huh?
I don't think I could tell you what book he wrote.
It was like about cash games or something, and it was like by the WPT brand of books or whatever. So I was a huge Antonio fanboy. You remember this thing called Rocks and Rings?
Rocks and Rings.
Rocks and Rings. This used to be like Antonio's thing. If there's people that used to watch poker like way back in the day and really got into it, they would know like this stuff about Antonio. I was a huge Antonio fanboy. Anyone remember Victory Poker? Yep.
I remember Victory Poker.
Yep. That was like even midway through Antonio's career.
Victory Poker was one of those sort of it crashed pretty quickly, if I recall.
Yeah. Well, Black Friday happened, and they pulled out once that happened. They didn't want to be a part of it. Or was it that? Yeah, I think it was that.
That's right. I don't think Victory ended like on happy terms with everybody though.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We probably shouldn't speculate on this.
But I mean, those guys. So anyway, those guys got me into poker. I was like fanboys of all those guys.
Were you a fan of the way they played, like their actual cards, or was it more their persona at the table that mattered?
Back then, yeah. I mean, they had success. Like when I saw Antonio's WPT victory in California, Los Angeles. I mean, you know, you only get shown so many hands. Back then, there weren't that many shows that showed that many hands that they were playing. But as far as you could tell, you know, they were crushers.
Who did you model yourself after? Who did you like set up chips and look at yourself in the mirror and try to pretend you were being them? Were you like Phil Locke, the Unabomber, so you could be close to Esfandiari?
I'm not sure that ever happened. I'm not sure I was ever doing that in the mirror.
You mean you didn't do that? I thought everybody did that.
Did they? Maybe that's why I'm like still trying to make it at 5'10". Maybe I should do that.
Seriously, you know, you got to think about your screen time.
Yeah. Aside from that, I don't know if there's like really a big sort of like influence on my game. It's just more of like the guys that I talk poker with on a daily basis that beat the games that I do. Guys like Benton Blakeman or Joe Tehan and John Kim. Those guys are the biggest influence on my game just because they're the ones that I've talked to poker with the most.
Makes sense.
Name the text group. I don't know what you mean. I don't know if you mean like give it a name, because the name of it actually changes like pretty regularly, but the people in it, I mean the most well-known guys are Joe Tehan and John Kim, and then Benton Blakeman. Then we got Hema, we got John Hemmer in there. We got Adam Jones, who's been in a couple vlogs. We got my buddy Scott Clark. We got D Fu. We got David Fu in there. Have you had any big upswing or downswings at 5'10" recently? Not recently. I mean, everything that's happened recently has been on the vlog. So you guys should be pretty well aware of things that have gone well or gone not so well recently. If you're choosing to follow along in video form.
Can I do this here?
Yeah, but you're covering up the camera when you do that, so you got to be like on this side.
Okay, yeah. So advanced skills here.
Dan, who is the biggest influence on whether you have an innie or an outie, and depending on your answer, could you show us?
I would really say probably, this is the biggest influence on innie or outie, right?
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
Someone says, is Dwan in the WSOP? I don't think he made a single appearance during the World Series.
Yeah, Ivy didn't make an appearance. Dwan didn't make an appearance. Annie Duke didn't make an appearance.
Brian Cho, how does your fiance respond to your lost days and any concerns for future she may have?
That's a good question.
She actually kind of responds to the losing days better than I do. She pretty much got poker right away when I met her and when I told her about professional poker. She's been trading the markets for a while, so there's a lot of similarities between the two. So she kind of got like the variance aspect of it, and it's easier to like understand and stay level-headed about the losing days when you are not the one going through them, when you can kind of like see the bigger picture from outside. So she continues to be like pretty rock solid for me, and that's pretty important. That's been really important for me to have.
Now, can everybody see all of these comments, or
I think so, yeah.
only we see these comments?
No, everybody. Okay. It looks a little bit differently.
Sure, okay.
I think, or actually it depends. I think it depends how they have their phone set, but yeah, everyone can see the chat. Mm-hmm. You're wondering if these people can see some things that you're seeing?
Correct, Dan. Okay, yes, thank you. I'm understanding how this whole interaction works here.
Let's give these guys a view of the rest of the bar real quick. Mm-hmm. This is where we are, Steiner's.
Showing my belly button. I don't know, they missed it there. I was showing it to the other vloggers.
And that's your tour of Steiner's. Dan's chicken fingers that he took a break from to entertain you guys.
Seriously.
Norman Chad should be in the Hall of Fame.
I think I should say Norman Chad should be in jail. That's what I thought it said.
I don't think so. Only for killing him for being so funny on the broadcast. Norman Chad is such a legend.
I mean, when it comes to being famous, right? Like, he kind of does deserve to get in there. I mean, right? Like, we got another one of those yellow ones.
I would have no problem Hey, Miguel Rodriguez. Hey Andrew, do you feel that after you asked us to rate how much we love what we do and seeing so many negative responses, it made you realize that playing poker / grinding wasn't a bad job to have? I think that's a pretty good question. I think that it's just always going to depend. I don't think that like poker itself is a good job or a bad job. I think it just depends on how much you personally get out of it and how much you personally enjoy it and how much you want to put into it. Because if you don't want to put that much into it, you're not going to be rewarded by it. So poker is like the kind of thing, as are many things in life, that you kind of get out of it what you put into it. So it's tough to say like this thing is a bad job. I mean, obviously there's some worse jobs than others. Like if it's dangerous to your health or whatever, then that's not going to be that good of a job probably. Or if it's like the industry is dying or something, then that's probably not going to be that good of a job. But if it's just a matter of personal preference, like I think poker is, then that's all that, the rest is going to be up to you to really decide like whether it's a good job or bad job. That's kind of like my general thoughts on the matter.
Did you have a semi-pro phase, like where you were making money in the game that you were paying bills with and stuff, but you hadn't quite committed fully to?
Yeah, before I left Los Angeles, when I was playing online, and I still had a job in LA, it was kind of like part-time job, part-time online poker, and just kind of made my way up the stakes and built up a bankroll that way, and was making more money playing poker than I was at my job. Of course, this was in much easier days, when online poker was much easier, back in like 2006, 2007, 2008, and the economy had slowed down at the same time. So, you know, semi-pro turned into pro just as a result of like various aspects, various forces at the same time.
You know, Leo there wants to know if you've been playing better or worse since you started vlogging, and I know he wants to know from you. I can just say I've started playing better since Andrew started vlogging. Like,
it's good to hear.
I'm not a very strong player. I'm really not, and but I've had good results when I've actually thought about things I've seen in your vlogs.
Interesting.
It's true. Like, that's not just like.
Yeah, I think I'm playing better. Yeah, I'm definitely playing better because like there's been a lot of like leaks here and there where I'm not allowed to gloss over them, you know, because I'm trying to like tell the full story of a session, and if I am, you know, skipping over a hand that I feel like I played bad just because I don't want to talk about it, then the entire story becomes unclear, and it forces me to put those hands out there to the public, and then I get a lot of feedback from both the public as well as like the other guys in the group that I talk poker with, and it's just front and center. So it's forced me to be accountable to everything.
But have you faced any repercussions from people knowing how you play because of the hands you show?
I mean, it's possible. It's certainly possible, but I try not to think about it too much. And also, live poker is so slow that the sample size is really small, and also like when I'm sitting down at the table with somebody who might have watched a bunch of the vlogs, there's only so many hands that we're going to have against each other in that session. So they might have a general sense of how I play, but I don't think it's going to be a huge deal because, like I said, it's just the sample sizes are going to be so small, and I also don't really know like who's seen the vlogs, who's seen what. So I just try not to think about it too much because I'll end up like leveling myself when I'm not really sure who's seen what. Ben F. and Brooke are awesome. That you know. Met you with him at Golden Nugget a few months ago while Tesla charged. Poker is awesome, and you are a great advocate for it.
Yeah,
thanks again,
OSU
Beaver 4. Ben F. and Brooke, I agree. That's a great couple right there. Good couple of people. Doesn't get much better than those guys.
It's two people. It's Ben F. and Brooke, not Ben F. and Brooke.
That's two people.
Right.
That's two people. A total of two people. Thanks for that again, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about while you have the?
No, this is Detroit meetup. You know, Kid Rock for Senate. And that's all we got.
Apparently, there's some chatter about Kid Rock being making a run at the state senate back in Michigan. I don't know. I'm learning about this now. Dan keeps me in the loop of these things. Detroit meetup. Yeah, I want to try and do a Detroit meetup next time I'm there. Not exactly sure when that'll be, but hopefully before too long. What's the address to send you stuff? Check out the description boxes underneath the video. Underneath the videos. Not this video, but previous vlogs. Go into the description box, and the address is there.
Do you have fans who are into pull tabs? I know a thing or two about pull tabs now. I just played my first ones in Minneapolis.
I don't know. I mean, we've never really discussed pull tabs on the
Is there a
blog.
strategy behind them? Like, I obviously didn't have strategy. I went 0 for 20 in my pull tab.
You want to try and generate a pull tab strategy
It really wasn't
discussion?
that fun. But, you know.
Mayweather or McGregor? Your thoughts?
Yeah. I like McGregor. He was tough today, right? Like, so, you know, like, I don't know. I didn't know anything about him until recently, but I like it.
You sound a little out of the loop.
I am a little out of the boxing loop. You know, I mean, it's kind of like Stanley Cup. You know, when you start following the hockey season when Stanley Cup starts.
Guerrero said 327 says Mayweather by decision. That is my choice as well.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
I don't see how it could possibly be anything other than that. Anything can happen, of course, but I would be shocked if Mayweather took this fight not fully expecting to keep his record fully intact at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really matter to McGregor. He has nothing to lose by losing, and just all the money in the world to gain. So I don't see how he can.
It is amazing how big that money is for those events still, right? Like,
That's pretty amazing. Can we get? No, I think we're all right. Can we get a Tecate? Do you want something? Oh, okay. A Pacifico, please.
the Dos Equis.
All right, guys. They didn't have a Tecate, so I think Christy is her name. She's sorting me out with a Pacifico and you with Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
So, to whoever ordered the Tecate, we did the best we could do. But I think we're just gonna chill on these beverage orders because just casual Sunday, you know, not going too crazy here. It is nice though to just take like a casual night here at the local bar.
Get some Bud Ice. I haven't had a Bud Ice in a long time.
Following.
What's that? Sure. I'll live large. You could have asked opinion. Should we go with glass or with steel bottle?
What's that? Thanks a lot. What else? Anything else to?
I got nothing. I mean, we could dig.
We got nothing. I mean, I think
Digging stuff.
I think it's been a good. We've been conversing here for 47 minutes. Dev Bao. Sorry to hear you busted out of the WSOP. Tell Brad Owen I'd subscribe to his channel if he didn't edit in so much crappy dubstep. All right,
Just like that.
I'll pass on the word here. I wonder if I can get I could try and get a screenshot, but I might accidentally close out the live chat, so I'm not going to try and do that. Zach Macaro. Andrew, need the top 5 beverage spots from your blogs. Going to be out there later this week and didn't have time to scour the older blogs. It depends if you, I'm assuming you want like nice cocktail joints. So Mandarin Oriental, anywhere in the Cosmopolitan is a really good spot.
You got to try the Chandelier Bar if you haven't done it before.
Go to the Chandelier Bar. Another spot that, not necessarily for the drinks themselves, but for the view is the Skyfall Lounge at Mandalay Bay. And then off strip is the Herbs and Rye, the Downtown Cocktail Room, and the Atomic Liquors. That's there's 5 spots for you. Miguel Rodriguez, hey Andrew, if you ever come to Phoenix, Arizona, hit me up. The first 5 rounds are on me. Bring Brad too. We might be out there very soon. I know you guys got the Arizona Championship thing, whatever it's called, state
Have you ever
championship.
played that before?
I never have.
It's supposed to be a good one.
Yeah, and that's a really nice property. Man, you guys are too kind here. Larry Meador, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Nice later on the lower flush. Sorry the cards didn't come to you in the main. I see Polk is coming out to Florida for a bit. Will you make the East Coast run too? And my favorable shirt works. Nice, awesome to hear, Larry. Yeah, I'm gonna try and come to Florida very soon as well. There's a lot of places I want to come to very soon. But yeah, Florida is very high towards the top of that list. Joseph S. Who's the better Andrew, Mimi or Web King? I know Andrew Web King. He's a good dude.
Who's better?
Who's the better Andrew?
Andrew Mimi or hashtag King? Sorry, is that another controversial topic around here?
I don't think he's an Andrew. Is he? No, he's not an Andrew. And no, that's another thing we don't talk about around here. So you're right.
I just call all poker players I know that are on videos, I call them Andrews.
Okay.
Like, oh, there's an Andrew.
Okay. All right, let's wrap this up.
Sounds good.
So thanks for being here with me.
Hey, thanks. It was a pleasant surprise.
Thanks for having us, guys. We'll be doing this again before very long, I'm sure. So, cheers. See you guys very soon.